Well, here we are. Welcome. I'm Mendhi Audlin. Thanks for joining me live here on Facebook as we do some updates on what's been happening in the Spirit Groups program, and also give you a chance to ask your questions and find out sort of how this applies to your own ministry. So whether you are an existing Spirit Group ministry and you're sort of wanting to take it to the next level, or you're brand new and trying to just figure out what this thing is, today is a day just to connect. Our mission is to inspire infinite connections, and this is one way we do that, is by reaching out and hearing what is going on with you. So I am Mendhi Audlin. We are live. If you're watching now, take a moment and just say hello, put your name in here, let me know where you're from. This is a great time to share this with other groups that you might be in, with people that might be interested, and we're going to really dive in. So a little bit about me. For those of you that don't know me, I am the founder of the Spirit Groups program. This is a program for New Thought Ministries to help create a small group ministry, which is different than a small group program. And I'm going to kick off with one of the comments that I just got just minutes ago on our Spirit Groups Facebook page. So I'm going to pop over here. This is, so I get my computer here. So this is from Jennifer Phelps Gates, who is over at Unity of San Antonio. So hello, everyone in San Antonio. Great to have you with us. We have strong participation in our book studies and workshops, she writes. I'm wondering what the difference is, or the shift in making these small groups versus independent, separate occurrences. So that is an excellent question, and thank you, Jennifer, for posing that. A small group ministry program is, there's some things that are going to be similar to the small groups that you may already have, or the book studies or the workshops, because obviously those things do meet with small groups. What's different with a small group ministry program is that it's ongoing. It doesn't start, stop, which allows you to create some momentum. What happens a lot of times is churches do fall series and get all this excitement and all this participation, and then it's over and everyone's kind of left wanting to have that connection, but it's gone and it doesn't come back until the next fall. So this program, small group ministry program, it gives your congregation a way to connect ongoingly to supplement the experience that they're having on Sunday. In fact, it gives them an opportunity to go much deeper into the content that's delivered on Sunday, because they're able to look at, how do I apply this in my life in a practical way and have support ongoingly. Now, there's a couple other things that make it different. In our Spirit Groups program, there are 5 elements of a Spirit Group that are sort of the quintessential elements of a Spirit Group, that without these elements, it may be just a workshop or a social club or something like that. So with all of our Spirit Groups, there is an element of, we call it communion, which is prayer or meditation in all of our gatherings. You probably have that in your classes and in your small groups already. There's a connection element, which is basically it's a chance to make friendships. So there's food, there's connection, there's fun. We do a social event. That's part of what makes it a Spirit Group. The third thing is compassion. And compassion is that your group is looking out for each other, which makes it different than most classes. In a classroom, you come, you study, you do your homework, you come to class, you learn what you need to learn, and then you study and you come back the next week. Versus in a Spirit Group, you're really there with an intention of being there for people in their lives. So if someone is going into surgery, you might bring a casserole for the family. Or if their kid just graduated, you might send a congratulations card. That you're thinking of each other beyond just, classmates. You're looking out for each other in your life as well. So that's compassion. The next element in a Spirit Group is community, and community service is something that all of our groups do. There's a lot of flexibility in terms of how that gets expressed, whether it's a project at the church or it's a community service project out in the community. But that is something that it's not just about us getting together and just having a great time together, although that is part of it. But the bigger part is that there's these other components, and we're out and serving the community, taking what we learn and giving it out into the world. And then the fifth element that makes it a Spirit Group is there's an element of challenge, which means we don't get complacent. We're constantly setting goals, we're setting intentions, and our small group is there to support us in moving forward. So there is a content element, there is an accountability element that is ongoing, that people always have when they're connected to a small group. So the power of small groups is when you can connect your congregation into small groups, you end up with increased engagement. You end up with people ministering to each other in a way where when someone goes into crisis mode, they don't fall through the cracks. You know about it, so they can get the support they need through the church. So it creates a good accountability structure throughout the ministry. And it's ongoing. So people constantly have that support. It's not there and then gone and then there and then gone. So those are a few things just to give you an overview of what makes something a spirit group. And again, I see people joining us. Thank you for joining us live. If you want to say hello, pop in a comment. Let me know who you are, where you are, anything you want to share, any questions, any comments. This is our forum. So your forum. I'm going to share with you some updates. I'm going to let you know sort of where we've been this summer and what that's launching as we go into fall. By the way, if you didn't know, right here, I mean, I'm in Colorado. It's back to school time. My kid's back in school. I'm getting back in the rhythm. And so are the people in your congregation. So fall is the best time. Right now is the best time to be putting together your groups. So this is really great timing to be able to be here and ask your questions. So thank you for joining, and looking forward to hearing you, share your questions. So that being said, introduce yourself. Share this. If you've got people you want to invite, this is a good time to share with them. I want to give you a little background on what's happened this summer, because we're about 3 years into this program, and this summer has been unbelievable in terms of getting us connected and seeing what's happening in the field and seeing some of the results starting to come in. So in June of this summer, we had our very first small group leadership summit. It was hosted by Unity Village Chapel at Unity Village. And we had an amazing experience. I see Glenda's here. Glenda was there at the summit, and she gave a fabulous talk about what's happening at Unity of Arlington. So thank you, Glenda, for being here and for being there. It was just a really good way to see what's happening in so many different ministries, and to hear from group leaders and to hear from group participants and ministers and program leaders about how the Spirit Groups program is being implemented. And the idea is that we come together once a year and learn from each other. So we get best practices. We find out what's working, what's not working. We share our challenges, and in sharing those challenges, we come up with better ways of doing things. So it was really exciting to kick things off this summer at Unity Village. Next summer, 2017, mark your calendar. We're going to be hosted by Unity Church of the Hills in Austin, Texas. And it's going to be in June, and I should know the dates off the top of my head, but I don't. But it's in early June. It's going to be right before the Unity People's Conference. So if you're going to San Antonio, for my San Antonio friends, hi Jennifer. So I know a lot of us are going down to San Antonio for the Unity People's Conference in June. The weekend before that is going to be our 2017 Leadership Summit at Unity Church of the Hills. So I hope you can join us for that, because it is a chance to build momentum, bring your group leaders, bring your potential group leaders, people that are in your groups. It's a really great way to build energy, and we had a great time doing our first one this summer. The other thing that happened this summer that is new, in the past, whenever we would launch a new program, I would go travel around to different spiritual centers and train whoever was in the region, usually, a handful of people at a time. This summer, we launched our very first virtual Train the Trainer, where we actually had campuses all across the country. And there's Sue Baggett Spears in Springfield. She indeed hosted one of our Train the Trainer campuses. So, and I want to see, I got a text saying you can't see or hear me. So make sure, let me know. Painting with a twist. Hey. All right, so can you hear me okay? Someone post something and let me know that the sound's okay. And Coco Ramos just texted me and said he can't see me or hear me. So if you could, I don't know, I need a little helper to go. If you're friends with Coco, send him an instant message. Make sure he's on the right page. Because we're here on we have our Facebook page for Spirit Groups, which is where we are right now. And then there's also a Facebook community for Spirit Groups. So on, oh good, thank you Glenda. So she can see here. So someone send Coco a little message to make sure he's on the right spot. We have a community at facebook.com/groups/SpiritGroups. Hey, Stephen Morris is here. Hi, Steve. So if you want to connect or share anytime, we have that Facebook community where I love seeing your pictures. I think Spokane just posted some pictures of one of their social events. They're out on a boat having a great time. Love seeing your pictures, and it's a great way to inspire each other to know what's happening out in the field. So know that that's a great place. If you're not part of that community, you might want to head over there real quick. Just go to facebook.com/groups/SpiritGroups. ask to join, and I'll loop you in. It's a private group, but you just request to join, and as long as you're not too rowdy, we invite you into that community. So it's really great to have all of you here. Hi, Deidre. Hi, I can hear you and see you, so that's good. I can see your comments as well. So thank you for joining, and thank you for being part of this update and Q&A. So I've been sort of going through what we've been doing this summer. So we have our Leadership Summit. We had our virtual Train the Trainer. The big aha that we've had out of this Train the Trainer is that when we are getting new churches up and running, there's really two different types of churches that are showing up for our Train the Trainer. So one of the things that is rolling out new for the end of 2016 and into 2017 is, instead of having a Train the Trainer like we've done in the past, or even like our virtual Train the Trainer that we just did, we are now having a Train the Trainer program twice a year. And these are strategic. So your best times to launch small group: right before Easter, around Easter time is your launch window, and right now is your launch window. So the idea is we'll have a Train the Trainer virtual event, just like we just did, with campuses all across the country, and it'll be timed so that you'll get the information you need and about a 6 to 10 week window to implement and roll out. So we don't want to train you like in December when you're like overwhelmed with other things. We want to train you when you can take the information and instantly implement it. So twice a year, we're going to have a Train the Trainer. So if you're brand new to Spirit Groups, where do I get started? Start at one of the Train the Trainer events. Now, that being said, we've also noticed that there's a lot of people, actually probably 80% of the people coming to our Train the Trainer are all affiliated with a ministry that has already decided that they want to do Spirit Groups, they want to launch Spirit Groups, and what they're doing is they're sending their board and their minister and their program leaders and their potential group leaders, their pilot group leaders, they're sending everybody to this Train the Trainer. And what's different about this group is they're not all going to be actually training the program. So what we've created that's rolling out this fall and into the spring is a new program called a Quick Start program. So if your ministry knows you want to do this and you don't want to wait until spring or fall to go through a Train the Trainer, you can contact us and say, hey, we want to do a quick start. We will send in a trainer who will take your people through it. The content's a little bit different because they're not all going to be trainers. But it's a really great way to introduce your entire team to what this is and the structure behind it, because there is a lot to it. Those of you that are here that have been through it, you can probably give a thumbs up or say yes, there is a lot to this. It's more than just having a little orientation and then sending people out and saying good luck with your group. It's an ongoing support system that we have. So that's where we've been. Some things that have changed a little bit. This is minor, but you may notice that now our website used to be at infiniteconnections.academy, and we've changed that to spiritgroups.org. So you can go straight to spiritgroups.org and access everything on the website, which is fantastic. Also, what's happened this summer is our video-based curriculum. So we have curriculum designed for you to use in your groups. In the past, you had to go online and download it and burn it to DVD or do whatever you needed to do for your people. Now we have two options for you, and they're both super easy. Option one is you can purchase it on DVD. There's no burning DVDs anymore. You just buy the DVD. You can build your own library of curriculum. You can share it with your group leaders. However you want to use that, it's yours. The other option is that now we have curriculum online. So your group leaders can sign up with an account and purchase the curriculum that they're going to watch together. They can either just buy curriculum that they need, or we also have now a group leader membership where if they're going to be doing curriculum every week, they can just sign up for a monthly subscription and they get not only access to the full library, but that gives us a way to support them and send them newsletters and tips and things that can help them as they're facilitating their small groups. So highly encourage the membership. It's more cost effective and it gives us more opportunity to support your leaders. So Glenda says, I don't even have to talk during the host training now. Yeah, so now in our host training, it's all video based. So for those of you that have been through the certification in the past you had to learn everything to train your people, and now it's all video based. So what you do as the trainer is you facilitate. you facilitate activities, and we show you how to do that and how it all works. But it's designed to be really easy to get up and get started and have consistency in your infrastructure in what you're rolling out to people. We have new workbooks. They've been redesigned a little bit, reformatted a little bit to be more interfaith friendly. So a lot of our communities thought that was important to them. So we've made that modification. What else is going on? Oh my gosh. Oh, so we have 2 new programs that I want to share with you. One is for those of you, and I know Glenda, you do this in Arlington, you're using our database system for signing up your groups. So it's a really great way to go to scale, to have some infrastructure so that, if you've got 1 or 2 groups, you could probably, swing that yourself. You can keep your spreadsheets and your binders and all that and keep the information together. But where I see you going, my vision for you is that this program is something that grows your ministry exponentially. If your ministry were to double tomorrow, would you have the infrastructure in place to be able to manage that kind of growth? So I want to make sure that when you start out, that you have that kind of infrastructure already in place, that it's part of the culture, it's part of what you train your people to do. So we've now launched a campus membership program. To be a campus, a Spirit Group campus, just means that you've subscribed to our database, that people can find you through our database, and you can use that database, you can link it into your own ministry. So that's something that's new. You can find that at spiritgroups.org. It's a monthly membership fee, and it allows you to add as many groups as you want, as many people as you want, to have your group leaders have access to their own portals. Lots of cool technical things. But the bottom line is it creates infrastructure so that you can grow. You can grow as big as you want to grow and not overwhelm your core staff. So more information, I'm sure, will be coming out about that as we go into detail. But just to let you know, that is rolling out. Terry Rudka at Unity Temple on the Plaza is our campus program administrator, and she's just getting up on board. She is the administrator of the Fellowship One system at Unity Temple on the Plaza, and we're really excited to have someone dedicated to helping those of you that are interested in having that kind of technological infrastructure to your program. The other thing that's new is we've now launched a program leaders membership. So for those of you that are leaders, it's a little different than being a group leader. There's things you need access to. There's questions you're going to have that are going to be kind of different and kind of private a lot of times. So now we have a membership where you can join that. You'll get access to training videos that you can use with your team, as well as tips. Tara Weir is our program membership director. She's just starting up to be able to provide support. So if you can't find a file or you're missing something, that you have a person, a go-to person, by being part of that membership program. And all of this helps support us so that we can better support you. So very exciting. So those are some of the new things. Let's see, where do I want to go next? I want to open it up to some questions. And I know some of you have already posted questions on Facebook. And if you have other questions, feel free to post them anytime, or comments, or things that you want to share, like, yes, this is great. I see Marcia here. As a program facilitator, do I subscribe to the $49 monthly membership for myself, as well as the $99 campus membership? Okay, Marcia, great question. In the past, we had a $99 membership that encapsulated both programs. We split it up. So now it's $49 to be a campus. It's $49 to join the program leaders membership. So together, it's still around $100 a month. So if that's not working right on the website, let me know, because it should be $49 and $49. I may... We're still, changing a lot of things all at once. So if you find anything that's incongruent, please let me know. But it should be $99 for both. But we found that some people are using Fellowship One already in their ministry, so they don't need our support with that. But I highly recommend, if you are not using that you sign up for it and create that infrastructure. And I highly recommend, really seriously, if you're using Spirit Groups, join the program leaders membership. Have at least one person from your church that's in that program, because that's where we do the advanced level training. That's where we give you the really the deep stuff that really goes beyond what we would do in a Facebook chat. You know what I mean? So so that being said, okay. Oh, I just lost you, but now I'm back. Okay, do I still offer the group leader membership? Yes, the group leader membership is, I think it's like $15 a month. And it gives them access to the library. It gives them facilitation tips that are relevant for group leaders, which is a different skill set than what you need as a program leader. So that way you can have each of your group leaders, they sign up, they have access to all the curriculum, they get support and feedback. And we'll be doing special things like this through our portal so that they can have Q&A and ask questions and things like that too. So excellent questions. There's a question I got before we started. This is from Frances Ray, and she said, we have a small church. How do we get info out into the community? So excellent question. I know I have a lot of small churches who are trying to figure out, is small groups for me? I have people say, oh, we are a small group. We don't need to do small groups. We are a small group. Well, I can tell you most of the churches that I have studied, mega churches, all began as small groups. So it's never too early to start creating small group culture. So the question is, how do you get the word out to the community? Well, there's two things about spirit groups in particular that help you reach the community. One, when you're doing small groups, you're training your group leaders to invite people. So obviously you'll be promoting it in your church and you want to get your congregation plugged in. But one of the great things about small groups is it's really easy to invite your neighbors or invite your colleagues or say, hey, I'm doing this book study. I'm doing this thing in my home. You want to come over? And there are people who will feel more comfortable with coming over to your house than going to church with you. It's an easier invite. So one way you reach the community is just by empowering and training your group leaders to invite people to come be a part of their small group. The second way you reach the community is part of every spirit group is a community service project. And that project is designed to be an expression of what they are learning and how they are growing on the inside. So it gives you an opportunity to reach out to the community and say, hey, we decided that this is going to be our project because, we're studying about, eye of the storm and conflict. And this is one way we want to create more peace in the world is by being here in service. So it gives the community an opportunity to know that you're there and that you care about them and understand a little bit about, what our teachings are, just because we're demonstrating them through our service. So Jennifer says, will this live feed be posted as a video we can later view? All the details. Yeah, it's a lot to write down, I know. Yes, the cool thing about Facebook Live is that as soon as I'm done, it's archived right here on our Spirit Groups site. So this will be here and you can share anytime. You can ask questions anytime. So if you think of something after we're done going live, you can post it and I'll still be reviewing those comments and answering your questions. So awesome question. You can definitely share this. I love all your little questions and all your little comments. So last summer, Marcia says, like the last questioner, our community currently is small and family-like. I want to waive the background checks on people whom the minister and I already know well. Is that kosher? One of the things we recommend is a background check. And really, I always say, if you want to do background check or not background check, that's a decision that you need to make with your minister, with your leadership team. I would also include your insurance provider if you're deciding whether to do background checks or not. It's totally up to you. That's not a hard and fast Spirit Groups law. That is totally up to you. I would say if you do it for one, you need to do it for all, because otherwise they're like, oh, well, why did they make me do one and not that person? So it's easier to create policies because then it's not personal. If it's some get background checks and some don't, then if I get a background check, it's personal. But if it's policy, then it's just like, oh, here's what we do. But it's totally up to you. Glenda asked, does the church have to have a program membership first before a group leader has access? I don't have to empower one of my leaders to invite. Does the church have to have the program membership first before a group leader has access? Oh, I think if I'm understanding your question, Glenda, so there's the membership program, which gives you access to everything. And that's the most cost-effective way to do it. If you just want to go get a program, like let's say maybe you're going to do your own book study for the next 10 weeks, and then you're going to do 12 powers or whatever it is. You can also buy things individually. So you can just, say, I'm going to buy this DVD or this video series for when you need it. So if you don't want to do the membership thing, you can also just buy the pieces you need. It ends up costing more that way. And the nice thing about the membership is that in addition to the curriculum, we also have this team that's behind you, supporting you and being able to answer your questions and provide resources. Because Glenda, maybe you can affirm or deny this, but once you get going, it's, it's like, where is this file and where was that file? And, you need a little support from now and then. And as we're growing, I'm not able to provide it anymore because I've got so many ministries. In the past, I was just like, whatever you guys need, email me. And now I can't do that because we've got so many churches up and running that I've hit my max. And so what I'm trying to do as an organization is exactly what I'm trying to teach you to do as an organization, which is prepare yourself to go to scale, because we want to reach a lot of people. So my goal is to be teaching you how to get your program to go to scale so that you can reach more people, serve more people, and fulfill your mission in a bigger and broader way. So I'm getting to live the teachings that I'm teaching to you. Glenda says, I affirm the need for support from me. Or from Tara. Tara Weir is now going to be our point person for all of you that are in our Spirit Group program leader membership program. And she's fantastic. She's leading the program at Spokane. They launched their program with over 50% of their congregation engaged. She knows what she's doing. She's a trainer for us, and she's fantastic. You met her at the Leadership Summit. So those of you that were there, you know about Tara and how awesome she is. Now, speaking of our program leader membership, I did get a question through our Facebook community, and I will warn you, I don't know, warning isn't the right word, but let me just put this out there that this is an advanced level question. So typically, once we get our program leader membership program, once Tara's up and going and you're all in that portal, this would be the kind of question that we would talk about with other program leaders, because this is the kind of thinking that you want to have in terms of how does the small group program integrate with the overall structure of the church. But I want to share this question with you. So this may be like way beyond where a lot of you are, but some of you, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I understand this, and I'm right there with you. So I'm going to preface this by saying this is what we would call an advanced leadership question. But I want you to know sort of what are the things that we talk about in that membership program. This is from Dee at Unity of Springfield. Now, Springfield has been through the Train the Trainer. They've certified everybody. They've been through what we call the Engagement Mastermind, which is understanding the infrastructure strategically within the entire ministry and how your spirit groups can integrate with that. So she's referencing something that we talk about in our mastermind. So let's see. She says they're discussing the explorers. Now, just to give you some context, explorers are what we call those people who are out there in the world, who are looking for a path, who maybe life isn't going the way they want it to go and they can't figure out why. For me, it was when I went through a divorce, I had to sell my house, I lost my job. I was just, those are the explorers that are like, what do I need to do to bring peace and joy and happiness back into my life? These are the explorers. And we talk about how do you get those explorers engaged as the first part of our engagement strategy. So this is what she's talking about. She says, we have this survey. It's called a first time experience feedback form. And she's specifically referencing one of those questions. So one of the things we do in our training is we have you assess your own ministry in terms of how engaging is it for newcomers? What do you have in place to engage those newcomers? So that's the context. So here's what she says. In this survey, it asks them, were your newcomers given an invitation to take the next step? And so her question is around, what does that mean? When you have new people come into your congregation and visit you on Sunday, were they given an invitation to take the next step? What does that mean? So Dee says, here's what they do at Springfield. After giving them the welcome packet, an up-to-date newsletter, a form, which we ask them to take to the welcome desk, because if they take it to the welcome desk, they receive a CD that requests their info and asking if they want to be added to the phone tree or to the email blast. So that's what they do when someone comes in that's new. And so she says, okay, so that's what they do. So what is the next step? So I want to point this out because part of small groups, it's not just an isolated program. If you're doing it as an isolated program, and this sort of speaks to the question from San Antonio, if it's an isolated program, it doesn't integrate with the rest of what you're doing strategically as a mission-centric ministry. So our purpose in creating this program is to help you fulfill your mission. Mission is at the center of everything. And how do we engage people into your mission using small groups as one of many tools? So when people come into your Sunday service is one of those ways that people can come into your ministry. Were they invited to take the next step? So I would say, just from Springfield, and I see this in a lot of churches, so not to pinpoint Springfield because this happens everywhere. Look at all the things that these people are being given. So imagine that you're new. You get the welcome packet, which has a brochure in it about Unity. You get a newsletter, which probably has other information in it. They get a form, and then they're asked to take the form to the welcome desk to get the CD, and then it asked them if they want to be added to the phone tree in the e-blast. So you're giving new people a lot of information all at once. And when you're brand new, sometimes that's overwhelm. It's not easy to know what the next step is when I don't know if it's in the brochure or is it in the newsletter or is it on the form. What is my next step? So this, a lot of times, the nice thing about these systems is it streamlines what you're doing. Sometimes it's a matter of doing less instead of doing more and doing it more strategically. So I would recommend, if you've got someone that's new, you don't want to give them a lot of things to have them have to dig through and see, what am I supposed to do? What I find in the mega churches is they have in their bulletin a contact card where anybody can update their contact information, and they can say, yes, I'd like to be added to your mailing list. So that might be it. Add me to your mailing list. And it's always nice to give a gift, but I would do that afterwards. You know, like have the invitation be share your contact information. And then you got to figure out what is your next step from there. So now you have their contact information. What are you going to do with it? If all you do is add them to the newsletter and hope that they get your messages about the next service, you kind of lose an opportunity. So when someone gives you their contact information, it's permission to actually contact them. What would you invite them to as the next step for someone that's new? So that would be the place I would go, Dee, is to think about, okay, so you've asked for their contact information. I would streamline that. I would have them fill it out in the service, put it in the offering basket in the service. Don't ask them to take 2 more steps. You know, go to the desk and fill it out. Have them do it all in the service instead of doing an offering, instead of putting money in. Have them give their contact information as their contribution so you can stay connected. Do it in the service. And then if you want to do a gift or more information, have that available outside afterwards. But then you want to say, once you've got the contact information, that's step 1. The next step is you want to invite them to something. And usually what we do is some kind of recommend as a connection event or an orientation to your ministry, where in that event you invite them to the next step, which is most likely joining a small group. So that way, when you have new people coming in, it's really easy to integrate them into your community through a small group. They don't need to meet everybody. If they can just meet a small group of people and feel connected to that small group, you'll grow your ministry. You'll get those people to walk in the door and stay. If you think about all the people that walk through your door, what if all of them stayed? And what if they got so engaged that they invited their friends into their small groups and into your service? So excellent question from Dee. Thank you for sharing that. We are live on Facebook, so if you have questions or comments or things that are happening, I know a lot of you are in the process of launching your fall program right now. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to post them. I just see Steve Morris joined us again. It's good to see you, Steve. Steve, just so you know, won our 2016 Group Leader of the Year because he is a dynamo in terms of community service and mobilizing his spirit group to do good in the community and taking what they're learning and expressing it through service. So he is a great person to connect with here on Facebook if you have questions, because he is the master of community service. Any questions? Pop them out there. It's really great to have you here. Like I said, there is a lot going on, a lot of changes, and the changes are all designed to give you more support. Hey, Steve. Get a little smiley face from Steve. And know that this is going to be here on our Spirit Group site. So for those who aren't able to join us live, please, when you get off of this live feed, share this with people that you're like, oh, I wish so-and-so could have been here, because that's how we build momentum. Speaking of which, we recorded the 2016 Leadership Summit. So some of those videos are going to be coming out soon, including my talk on momentum. So I can't wait to get that out there and know that when you're participating in the membership programs, when you're getting your group leaders engaged, when you're getting your campus, your ministry engaged, that every time there's another ministry that joins, we build momentum. We build energy for what we're able to do together. So I'll leave you, if you have any other questions, please post them. But let me leave you with this idea that this is, we can all go into our ministries and do our little isolated thing and figure it out and try to make everything our own and work and put all that energy into it. But that doesn't build momentum. What builds momentum is coming together and creating that synergy where we're sharing resources and we're sort of building a common infrastructure that can get expressed in diverse ways. Deidre says, have you changed the names from host to group leaders? Oh, that's great. I've decided one thing I'm going to add to our orientation materials is a glossary of terms. So for those of you that are brand new to Spirit Groups, you probably were enrolled as a Spirit Group host. So a Spirit Group host is someone who has signed up and is getting trained to lead their very first group. And you're a Spirit Group host when you get started. And then after you've done your first series, if you want to continue, and if your program leader says, oh yeah, you got a great group and we want to keep that going, you graduate into leadership. So oh, sorry, I lost you a second. I'm back. So our program leaders program is designed to provide that advanced level leadership training. So you want to take people from host into leadership, and then once they're in leadership, to provide ongoing leadership trainings for them, which will have videos and curriculum that you can use as part of your monthly or bi-monthly trainings with your group leaders. So thank you. There's Sue. She's saying thank you. Glad you could join. Thank you for spreading the word. Thank you for doing the amazing work that you're doing out in the field and for your leadership. I'm around, here on Facebook. So anytime you have questions, feel free to post in. Thank you, Deidre. Thank you. Blessings to all of you out in North Idaho. I know you're launching soon. I'm really excited to see how things are going out there. Susie out there is doing such an amazing job. So I'm excited to see your pictures, post your pictures. Love you, Glenda. Thank you for being here. And all of you in Arlington, Steve, all of you, spread my love. Really grateful for the amazing work that you're doing. You are transforming people's lives. And it matters. Like the work that you're doing, the energy you put into this, it really does. So thank you, bless you, and I look forward to supporting you as you kick off an amazing small groups program for the fall. Blessings. Bye-bye.